bill to the House. Thank you.
I call Harete Hipango.
Kia ora. Minister seated beside you, Mr Chair, I acknowledge you both and as addressing the House today on the Coroners' Access to Body of Dead Person Amendment Bill. It's said that there are two certain things in life, taxes and death, and this bill is to ensure that it is a less taxing experience for those with a recently deceased person or member of their family whānau. Mr Chair, may I just turn to the timeline in the passage of this bill? It's noted that the Māori Affairs Select Committee initiated an inquiry into whānau access and management of tūpāpaku, the deceased body, during the period of the 2nd of March 2016 through to the 26th of July 2017. I was elected as a Member of Parliament and didn't join the Māori Affairs Select Committee until the end of last year, so I've come in this rather belatedly with the discussions that have been before the Select Committee. On the 14th of August last year, the inquiry report was presented to the House, so things had been very much traversed as a foregone conclusion by the time that I did join those discussions, noting that on the 10th of April 2018, this bill was referred to the Māori Affairs Select Committee and I was part of those discussions, with 8 submissions heard and 2 of those orally presented. So I'm just going to turn to the detail outlined here in the bill and just state that the Coroners Act of 2006 is what this bill is seeking to amend, particularly section 26, in terms of those matters, as has been submitted or proposed under clause 4 of the bill, to be factored in as considerations to be balanced against all of those other, I believe, 8 considerations. But the context of this coronial framework is around a certain type of deaths, and those deaths are specific to sudden or unexplained deaths or deaths in special circumstances. So that is the ambit or the reach that the coroner must factor and take into account in whether or not a post-mortem or an autopsy is to occur. So section 3, subsection 2 of the Coroners Act itself details the purpose of the Act. And I think it's important that we do reflect and turn to what the purpose is about, because it details there that insofar as preventing deaths or promoting justice through the investigation and identification of the causes and circumstances of, as I said, sudden or unexplained deaths, section 3, subsection 2 outlines how to achieve that purpose. And that's where there is first mention, under clause B, of a recognition for both the cultural and spiritual needs of the family alongside public good factors. So there is mention within the Coroners Act around the significance of cultural and spiritual needs. I'm going to address other sections within the Coroners Act before I do get to clause 4, because it is relevant. Clause 4 is making the amendment by way of this bill to section 26, specifically with an assertion or an amendment, section 26, subsection 2, clause EA. And that references specifically the ethnic to take into account where a coroner must, before authorising whether or not a person who under section 25 would be permissible to either view, touch or remain with or near the body, the tūpāpaku, it is about whether or not it is deemed the significance of EA, the ethnic origins, social attitudes or customs or spiritual beliefs of the person, and it's detailed further there, of that particular relationship to the deceased person is balanced up and taken into account alongside all of those other factors. So it doesn't give specific priority, it's a balancing act as that being one of the interests, and whether or not alongside all those other interests it takes priority. I'm just going to quickly turn to, and I'll address in the third reading before the House, that the other factors specific to cultural spiritual significance are sections 32F and sections 37C. This bill is specific not to tikanga Māori practices, but to spiritual and cultural beliefs. Thank you, Mr Chair.
I call Marama Davidson.
Tēnā koe e te mangai o